This is a true emotional dog story. I was born in a small house on the edge of town. My first memory is of sunlight coming through the window and the sound of her laughter. She smelled like soap and warm bread. Her hands were soft, her voice calm. She called me lucky, said I brought luck into her life. I didn't know what that meant, but I wagged my tail anyway. We did everything together, morning walks, evening naps. She'd read out loud, and I'd listen even though I didn't understand. Every time she came home, I'd run to the door, tail wagging, heart racing. That's what love was for me, waiting by the door. I was the dog who always waited by the door. Then one morning something changed. She didn't tie her shoes, didn't pack her bag. She just hugged me tighter than usual. Her voice shook when she said, "Be good, okay?" Then she walked out the door. I followed to the gate, but she told me to stay, so I did, because I always listened to her. Hours passed, then days, then weeks. I kept waiting by the door. People came and went, neighbors, friends, someone who smelled like hospitals. They petted me, fed me, sometimes cried when they saw me sitting there. I didn't understand their words, but I knew something was wrong. Still, I stayed, because she told me to. 7 winters came and went. The paint peeled, the garden grew wild. I learned every sound, the mail truck, the kids' bikes, the wind in the trees. Every time footsteps approached, my heart jumped. But it was never her. Still, I hoped. That's what loyal dogs do. We hope until we can't anymore. Sometimes people stopped to take pictures. They called me the waiting dog. A man once whispered, "He doesn't know his owner died." Maybe that's what they thought, but in my heart, she was never gone. She was just late. I could still smell her, still hear her voice when the wind passed through the house. This was more than a sad dog story. It was faith. One evening I saw a car stop across the road. A woman stepped out, her hair tied the same way, her hands trembling. For a second my body froze. It was her. I knew it. My paws scraped against the stone as I ran. My chest burned, but I didn't care. My tail wagged so hard I thought it might fall off. But when I reached the gate, I stopped. It wasn't her. Her eyes were softer. Her scent was wrong. She looked like her, but older, heavier with time. She knelt down, tears already in her eyes. "You're still here," she whispered. "All these years." I tilted my head. There was something familiar. Not her, but part of her. Then she spoke again, and it hit me. Her voice carried the same tone, the same rhythm. She was her daughter. She opened the gate slowly, afraid I might run away. But I didn't move. I just leaned forward, pressing my nose against her hand. She smelled like soap and bread, like her mother. For a moment I didn't know where the past ended and the present began. She looked around the yard. "Mom would have been proud of you," she said quietly. "You never gave up, did you?" "No, I never did, because I was the loyal dog who waited for the owner who never came back." She sat on the porch beside me. The evening light turned everything gold. I rested my head on her knee, and for the first time in 7 years, I closed my eyes. The air felt lighter, as if something heavy had finally lifted. She stayed until night fell. Then she stood and said, "Come with me." Her voice was gentle, almost like her mother's. I hesitated. The door behind me creaked in the wind. The door I'd waited by all these years. My heart pulled one way, her hand the other. Then I remembered what my person used to say. "You're my brave one." So I stood up. My legs hurt, but I walked anyway. I followed her to the car. The seat was warm. The smell was strange, but not bad. I looked out the window as we drove away. The house grew smaller until it disappeared behind the trees. For the first time in years, I wasn't waiting anymore. I was moving forward. She took me to a new home, a yard full of flowers, a porch with a wide view of the hills. She told her son my story. "This is lucky," she said. "He waited 7 years for Grandma." The boy hugged me tight. "Did she ever come back?" he asked. The woman smiled sadly. "Maybe not the way he expected." I still sleep by the door. Old habits don't fade easily. But now, when it opens, it's for walks, for laughter, for family. Sometimes late at night I lift my head and listen. I still hear her voice, carried by the wind, soft and clear. "Good boy, Lucky. You waited well." And I did. Because this isn't just a loyal dog emotional story. It's a true emotional dog story about faith that doesn't end when someone leaves. It's about love that outlives loss. It is about a dog who did not know his owner passed away, but waited anyway. Maybe I waited for 7 years to teach someone else how to love like that. And maybe that's the real ending of this touching dog story with a twist.